All right, well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stock Analysis Friday. All right, quick audio check, and let me know if the video is looking okay to you guys, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I think everything looks good. Okay, all right, let me run through some administrational items, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the markets. A couple quick announcements. Looks like the Fed's going to lower the rates. Okay, they announced that today. The market is now moving higher as we kind of expected. You know, we talked about the market putting in another high, all-time high, before it reaches a critical point, and it looks like it's going to go ahead and do that over the next, short term, let's just say that. All right, after the election, we'll see what happens, but for right now, I think it's smooth sailing for a little while. All right, now with that said, let's jump in and just take a look at some of the administrational items. First thing I have to cover are the risks involved in trading the financial markets. There's basically risk in everything we do, but in the financial markets, we deal in a realm of probabilities, not certainties. Therefore, nothing can be guaranteed. So you first of all have to trade with money you can afford to risk, called risk capital. And if you're an active trader, don't fund your account with more money than you can comfortably risk. That's basically step number one, right? Now, if you're a day trader, the same thing, okay? Fund your money with your accounts with money you can afford to risk. Now, I'm going to get to a slide in a minute where we talk about what we call prop funding firms for day traders in the futures market. And it's a great way to actually trade other people's money. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. The next type of risk, of course, is the trade risk itself, where you calculate your trade size, also known in the industry as your position size. This is how many shares of a stock you buy or sell, or how many contracts of a futures market you go ahead and take a trade with. So I spent quite a bit of time in this area, did a lot of research. I've written 2 books on risk control. We've developed several pieces of software that can help you with that and help you calculate your trade size and your risk of ruin on each particular trade, along with your risk to reward. So you may want to check those out on our website, and I'll put some links below for our software and so forth. All right, so just keep that in mind, and then finally check with your financial advisor. I'm going to give you my opinion on any stocks that you share with me today, and I'm going to let you know what I think about them. But that's my opinion, and it's based on my software. Yes, I've been doing this for 30 years. I have a lot of experience at it, but again, I don't know your personal situation, so definitely run that by your financial advisor. All right, 2 books on money management. If you need help in that area, book on Elliott Wave, which is a form of technical analysis. You'll probably see me refer to that today. And then on the far right, my newest book, it's all done, so it's getting ready to come out this year. It's called The Art of Trading, 2nd edition, good 500 pages in that book, and being published by Wiley. You can pre-order that. Again, I'll put some links below in the recording for you to do that, or you can go to our website and check it out. So those are available for you. We have lots of software that I've developed called the ART software, which stands for Applied Reality Trading. That's a pretty famous brand of software that's out there, and we can use that on all time frames in all markets. It looks at price action. And then I have some confirmation indicators called the OWL, PTF, TLM, and ERI that looks at fear and greed, momentum, and Elliott Wave and things like that. And then I have scanners below that, and basically that sorts through all the stocks out there and finds the ones based on our type of analysis that we like to look at. And then at the bottom row, we have, again, risk reward software. So I will put a link in the bottom if you're interested in that. All right, let me put a link in the chat area right away just to talk a little bit about this. Again, I recommend Apex Trading Funding. It is a great prop firm. I use it extensively for day trading, and basically what you do is you get a simulated account that you need to qualify on, and you get free data while you're qualifying. So there's a big bonus right there. There is a subscription fee. They're having an 80% off sale if you use my link and my code up there in the email. So make sure you use that to get the 80% off. These are very affordable, and they're less expensive than data. Okay, so you're getting data with this subscription from Apex. So they set all that up for you, and it's a really good deal. And then if you qualify, which means if you have an edge, which means that you can employ the edge, then they will fund you. And at that particular point, your first $25,000 of profit is 100%. You get to keep it. And then after that, it's 90%. So the payouts are really good. So anyway, I highly recommend it. And you will learn a lot about trading and trading within strict risk control parameters, which is the key. Okay, it'll separate your A+ trades from your B trades, so to speak. So anyway, check that out if you're interested. You can work this in. There's no guarantees, of course, that you'll be successful at it, but many are, and you can see the payouts already. Really quite amazing. So a lot of people we know are getting payouts on this, and you can work your way up to do that too and make it a nice little job for yourself. All right, give us a like, subscribe, and share. And the Wall Street Journal came out today. This is just out. Fed's Powell, which is the chairman, declares time has come for a rate cut. All right, so Federal Reserve Jerome Powell gave his strongest signal yet that interest rate cuts are coming soon, saying the central bank intends to act to stave off a further weakening of the U.S. labor market. We do not seek or welcome further cooling in the labor markets, Powell said, in prepared remarks for a speech at the central bank's annual gathering in the Grand Teton National Park. The time has come for policy to adjust. Fed officials' next policy meeting is scheduled for September 17th and 18th. All right, so all along, every week I've met, I've kind of alluded to a rate cut coming in September. And, you know, the data is the data, but really what I think is going on here is they want to keep the market stable through the election time. All right. Now, do I see a bear market sometime in the future? Absolutely, yes. All right. We're at the top of a major top. But like I've been saying, I think we're going to go one more, the probabilities based on our software indicating one more high to be made in all the indexes. So I think we're going to get that probably between now and the election. And then after the election, towards the end of the year into 2025, then I think we have to be careful and be very suspect of a bear market. And when I say a bear market, I mean a market dropping 50+%. So I do think that's out there, but I think it's smooth sailing probably for a little while longer. Thus, most of our trades that we've recommended here have been to the long side. All right, so keep that in mind, but let me get out of here and let's go ahead and get into the charts here. I'm just going to start for a moment here looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something that's very popular to a lot of people here. And before I get into Bitcoin, basically, if you're new here, what you're looking at is my software in NinjaTrader. Okay, so this is the NinjaTrader charting platform. I like NinjaTrader a lot. I use it from a lot of my day trading as well as position trading, and I'm used to it. And I think that with a platform, that's one of the key things. Whatever you're used to using and it works for you, you're good to go. All right, so what are you looking at here? Well, we got a scanner up here. This is one of our scanners. We're running, these are our scanners running in Market Analyzer, which is the scanning software for NinjaTrader. Our software basically works in TradeStation, eSignal, multi-charts, MT4, MT5 for forex traders, and of course NinjaTrader, which I'm using here. So the scanners up here, we're not going to use these today because you're going to give me stocks. At the bottom here, you see 3 charts. This is a 60-minute chart for our short-term look at the market. We have a daily chart for our intermediate look. It's also our primary time frame. And then we have the weekly chart over here on the far right, which is our long term. So basically, whenever I type in a symbol, all 3 of these charts will change and they will show the symbol I'm typing in. So I'm looking at the same symbol on 3 different time frames, and this is called multiple time frame analysis. And I do this in order to get an overall look or view into the different time frames of that market I'm looking at. It gives me a good time or a good, better picture of when to pull the trigger, so to speak, and trade that market when things align. Our software is embedded in each chart. You can see the ART system looking at fractal analysis of price structure. We've got the owl down here looking at momentum and Elliott wave. And then we have also too the PTF, and the PTF, great indicator down here. And it basically, if it's red or green, it has meaning for us. and I'll explain that. And then we have the trend line master down here, looking at the trends. And then down here is the ERI, looking at fear and greed. So we kind of pretty much cover most aspects of what I need to look at when I analyze a market. All right, so let's jump in, take a quick look at Bitcoin, and then I'll go ahead and get to stocks you want me to look at. So if you're out there, type in 3 stocks and type them in caps, and I will take a look at those. And then you can always retype another 3 in too, depending on how busy we are. All right, so Bitcoin, a couple things to do. We read left from right. So we start with the short-term chart over here, which is the 60-minute chart. We got a green PTF indicating more short-term highs coming. That's a good thing. All right, on the center chart here, okay, we've got a wave 3 in Elliott wave terms and a wave 4 that may not be over. And then once it does complete, then it should head up above wave 3 and get it somewhere into this target zone here. So that's kind of the overall roadmap. However, a couple things here causing me concern. We got a red PTF here. So yes, more highs, probably getting around 62,000. But if this remains red, that's indicating that this may not be a bottom, and it has a 75% accuracy. So that concerns me. So I'm looking basically anytime we get in between these lower blue lines. Let me erase this right here, okay? Anytime we get in there, that's a buying opportunity. That's the way I look at it. And so if we're gonna come back down in here, this may be something good to wait for because that's pretty low. That puts it below 50,000. So I think if you're not in this already, you may want to wait until that gets down there. Long-term chart on the right here, okay, the weekly chart is showing green, indicating more highs are coming. So after we work out this correction or sloppy drifting that the market is doing in Bitcoin right now, we should recover and go higher. And so we'll see what happens with that. Now, if the market just keeps going up from here, this will turn green, and then we're heading, that means, directly to that target zone. So if you own it, I would hold it. If you're thinking about buying it and you don't have it, I would probably wait until this PTF either is true and you get a really good price to get in, or changes green, okay? So that's kind of where I'm at on Bitcoin. So overall, I'm fairly as certain as I can certainly be in the markets, no guarantees, of course, that eventually Bitcoin will make new highs. And the target will be right around the 80,000 to 102 level, 100,000 level. So I think that's coming. I think we got to do a little more working out here before we get there, and maybe one more move to the downside for a new low somewhere between 40,550, let's call it 50. This low here is right around the $50,000 mark, okay? So keep that in mind, all right, folks? Just be careful with it, but long term, we should recover. All right, let me get to what you want to look at here. Stuart, how are you? A little PayPal here. PYPL, let's see what's cooking on PayPal. All right, looks like we may have gone black for some reason. All right, are we black up there? Let me see. Let's see if we can't reset this. Hold on 1 second. Can you see the screen, guys, before I go on? Can you see it? That was very interesting. No screen. Okay, thank you. All right, let me reset it. Something happened there. I'm not exactly sure what. All right, how about now? Let me reset it. So it should be okay, all right? I think we're good. All right, PayPal. All right, Stuart, I don't know if you're long or short these. When you type in, just let me know if you're already in them or if you're thinking about them, or what's going on, okay? And let me know if it's a long trade you're thinking about or a short trade. All right, so PayPal here, starting to bounce up a little bit. Let's open up this weekly chart, Stuart, first, and take a look here. Notice PayPal, I love this chart because this is a great argument for trading versus buying and holding, right? So the market went all the way up, and if you held it, it would be right back where it was back in 2018 and 17. So not a good case for the buy and hold theory, right? So in any case here, all right, Stuart's long on this. You're getting a breakout from the bottom, so I'm liking that. You have a green here. There's no red here. So the long-term chart, which kind of acts like an aircraft carrier in that it's very slow to turn, is starting to turn. And we have taken out some of the key levels here. So if we grab a data window here and put that here, I'll put it right here. You can see that this high here had a high of 70.66, and now we're at 73. So we're a little higher. So that's a good sign. That means we're broken out of this channel. So that chart is favorable for a long position. You can see no red PTF, which is this indicator right here, okay? This is the PTF. You see no red PTF on any of the time frames. And so that's a good sign. And it has moved up. Now, it's moved up quite a lot. And we've looked at this last week, and we kind of thought it was going to, break this high, and it did it. So now the next thing you got to be careful about here, Stuart, is a pullback, all right? Markets don't keep going forever. They do some profit taking and breathing. So we're kind of due for that. We're seeing a little bearish divergence on the 60-minute chart, which is kind of putting the daily chart a little bit under a microscope, so to speak. You got a wave 3 now in here of some sort, at least an impulsive wave. And I would anticipate, actually, because this is a pretty big move off the bottom, I would anticipate you could get a significant pullback at any time. So you want to keep your stop under this pyramid, which is identifying a key level of support on that fractal low here. So you could easily get a 10 point, if not a little more pullback. The only thing we care about is if this bottom holds, okay? So if you're long-term, all right, you're going to be married to this for a while, meaning probably years, and you'll probably do well on this. Even if the market goes into a bear market, maybe PayPal will keep going according to this. At the very least, long-term, I think you're looking at probably a retracement into the 145 area, so possibly a double your money, and it may come in the next year or two, okay? But you gotta survive these pullbacks. If you're a swing trader and you're trading this on a very short-term basis, you want your stop right here on these pyramids here on the left-hand chart. So if you're a position trader holding your position for like 6 months or so, then put your stop down there as well, okay? So that's kind of my take on that. So PayPal looks good. I'm actually going to put that one, guys, down as a buy, okay? Because I actually like it and as a long-term trade, okay? So PayPal is good. And let's move on to your next one, which is Nike, NKE. And Stuart is in all of these right now. All right, so Nike, we've got a green PTF. We've had a run up just like in PayPal off a bottom here. So that's looking pretty good. We have not broken out any levels of significance yet on the weekly chart, but let's take a look at that. All right, a couple things we like about this chart, okay? What we like about it is this is pretty clear. Elliott wave 3, so 4, and now we may be moving up to 5. All right, so that's a pretty significant move to the upside. This is why I'm telling you, I think we've got more highs in the market to come. I do not see a bear market quite yet for these reasons. A lot of these stocks are still got some room to move up. Let's see where a possible long-term correction could be, and we hit it, okay? So we're down there in the Fib 4 area. We're bouncing off. That's a good sign. The owl on this, which is this histogram right here, has not turned green yet, so you got to be a little careful. And also, too, we haven't gotten a move off this bottom, a pullback to justify a bottom, and then a move up. So basically what I'm looking at is being able to draw an uptrending line, and I can't do that yet. The only trend line I can draw is down, all right? And we technically haven't broken that. So we need to see some movement up, break the trend line, move down, bottom holds, move back up, and there's your buy, okay? That's your buy point right there. And let's see where a target would be on this. and we can draw in somewhere around here. And you're looking at a 174 to 239. So that's a double your money. All right. So you just got to be careful for a pullback here. If you go in early, you can be in early. Just put your stop at the very bottom so you survive the pullback. All right. So Nike's looking pretty good. I probably am going to hold off putting this on the buy list. Simply, I'd like to see a little more follow through on the weekly chart on this. So let's put Nike on the watch list. But this looks pretty good. I would keep an eye on that one and be ready to jump. All right, Amazon. All right, let's see how Jeff is doing here. Okay, so we reached a new high after a big pullback. So here's a little bit different scenario. Okay, so on this scenario here, we had a wave 3, 4. Notice it hit the 4 target zone, and now we're moving into 5. So we got to figure out where the target zone is in 5. Now, here's something kind of I want to open up and just explain a little something here. Do you see this low here? All right, and then a pop off that bottom. Does that kind of, if you didn't see the right-hand side of the chart, does that kind of look a little bit like Bitcoin? Okay, let me look at this. Let me show you this. All right, that's kind of what Bitcoin is looking like right now. We had a bottom here, and then we had a red PTF, and look what happened. The PTF was right, and the market backed down and made a new low. That's what I think is going to happen to Bitcoin, and that's why I'm telling you not to be buying that right now. Let's see if it can get back into that target zone, and then one more time, and get that PTF away from the red area and into the yellow and green area for a buy. All right, so that's kind of why I said on Bitcoin, even though it's looking kind of to the upside, that red PTF on the daily chart on Bitcoin is causing me concern. All right, so I just wanted to cover that because I see that pattern that looks similar. All right, let's see. Let's draw in a few fib extensions and see where we can get here. Okay, so we hit the target zone. All right, so we're in the target zone. The pyramid, and don't forget, this is a weekly chart. The pyramid has been stopped out. We've got a red owl. So could you go back into the target? You might. I have to take a look at the short-term targets to see if any of those have a green PTF still. But this chart basically is indicating we may be done, okay? So we've got bearish divergence here. And let's just see if we may get one more hook up to the upside. And it looks like we got a green PTF on the 60-minute chart. So it looks at the very least we should get up above this high here, which is what, 183, whatever that high is there. And let me just grab and see what the data window says. Yeah, it's about 182.39. So we should get above there, but that does not mean we're going to break it up above a new high. So I guess what I'm saying, I think you should exit, okay? Amazon's, I think, fairly done. Yes, it could make another hook a little higher, but I think you ought to think about getting out, okay? All right, and there you have it. So let me see if I can find, all right, so there we are. Okay, so Lowell, how are you? Let me get to yours then. All right, KR. Let's get to Kruger here and see what's going on with that. So you're watching Kruger for a possible position, I assume long. So my only reservation is I think the pullback is not over yet because we have a red PTF still on the 60-minute chart. So let's wait for that to complete and then take another look at it. So that's a no-go for right now. INO, let's take a look at that one. All right, this one. Ooh, okay. So this one, nice bottom coming off the bottom. See, it came off. This is not unusual to get a big pullback off the bottom. So this is why your stops are going to be on these pyramids at the bottom here. You got a red PTF. Don't go in it yet. As soon as this goes away, which means either yellow or green, and we see price structure change, then you're good to go. So put this one on a watch list because I think it's close, just not quite ready yet. I think you got to wait for the trend to change and head on up on the lower time frames. All right, FUBO. FUBO. I'm not sure exactly which one this is, but let's take a look. Okay, so off the bottom, all right, we've had a big move down on this. So basically a penny stock, so to speak. It's at $2. Wasn't kind of pretty volatile too. So we got to move off the bottom. We've got more highs coming, but you filled the gap here, which was good. See on the 60-minute chart, the market filled the gap and then went higher. So you got that out of the way. So you're probably going to go probably up a little bit higher here. Let's just see where our short-term target could be on this. Let me just grab a fib extension and kind of do one of these things. So you're probably looking at $2.21 to $2.55 before you get another pullback. All right, I'm not going to recommend this right now. We're pretty close to the target. But if you get a decent pullback after this, which means a change kind of in trend or something here, then we might have something, okay? So I think maybe if you're long-term, okay, and you want to go into it and put your stop way down, have to go way down here at $1.15. So it'd have to go 50% lower than the price is now, which is a lot. All right, you can probably go ahead and go in and hold it and probably feel fairly confident you won't get stopped out. Notice how I use the word probably, because nothing is certain. I would probably wait for a pullback on this, okay? So you can put this on your watch list as well. We'll put it on ours for those that like the cheaper stocks, okay? So thank you, Lowell, great. All right, but no go right now. Just hold off a little bit on that, unless you want to go ahead and go long and put your stop really low. All right, let's see. Lowell's got a couple more here that's watching. CLF. CLF. All right. Okay, so this one here may be turning. We're seeing it first on the 60-minute chart. All right, so basically that's turning. The longer-term chart, the aircraft carrier on the far right is not turned yet. It does have a green PTF, so that's a good sign when it does turn. And we don't have it yet here. We still have bearish pyramids. So I think this needs to go on the watch list too, because I think this may be turning, but it hasn't turned yet. So don't do anything with this yet. All right. GDS. GDS. All right. Well, this has turned and it's taking off. So my problem here with this is now it's too late to get in on this one. Too early to get in on the others, too late to get in on this one. So we have some green PTF still. I think long term, if you don't mind going into this and putting your stop really low, okay, you're going to have to put your stop, under this area here, which is really, really low, okay? Because if you get a pullback, let me just open up this weekly chart. So another good case for buy and hold, right? All right, so if we look at this thing here, all right, you're getting a break off the bottom, but the place to put your stop, the only place that makes sense is this price bar right there for right now, because you got to give it some room to basically breathe, right? So that low is $9.88. That's $10, it's 50% lower, roughly, than the entry. So that's the issue. If there's options on it, this may be a good one for a long-term option. I'm thinking target on this at a minimum here is probably, I'll be a little bit conservative on this. I'll use this as a break point. You're probably looking at 36.51 to 56. So for a long-term trade, it makes sense. But I'm going to say if it has an option, use an option, okay? So we'll put that on a buy list with an option. Then you don't have to worry about the stop so much, okay? So that looks okay. All right, let's take a look at XLRE. You will get a pullback on GDS, so don't be concerned about that. But the point is that your stop would have to be so far away at these current prices, which means you could wait for the pullback if you want. All right, this one, similar situation. We've already moved off fairly well. A better trade would have been back in here, during this area here where it started to go, and then join it again after the pullback. So you're a little late to the party, but it's still going. So let's see if this makes sense for a long-term trade. You know, look at that. Look at the 60-minute chart. Look at the daily chart. There's a lot of white down here. So you could get a pullback and then another surge forward. So I'm not saying it's not in a bull trend, but I'm just saying the timing here puts you at risk of going in and then having to wait for a big pullback. This is looking pretty good, and we have a green PTF. I think this is a good one, and I'm going to put this one down for a long-term one, like GDS. And if you can get it on an option, do that, okay? Because that should take out the high at some point. So I like them both. I guess if I was trading the underlying asset at first, I would wait for a pullback. We got a yellow PTF. I would probably try to pick this thing up when it gets maybe into, if it can drop down. Let's just draw a fib here. You know, if it could drop down into the $40 mark, I think it would be a good buy. If you don't really care about $3, then go in now, put your stop way down here, and which isn't too bad, and just go ahead and go with it, okay? So I'm going to put this as a buy long term, and you can buy it with or without an option. Just make sure your stop allows for a pullback. All right, thank you. So Lowell, 2 on there, GDS and XLRE are looking pretty good. All right, so USO for Jim Blue. Jim, how are you? Day trading buddy. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, so open up this here. Okay, and boy, let me just bring that here, okay. This is USO. Okay, so USO came off its bottom here back around the year 2020, ran up, consolidated. Okay, we had a little line on this low here. Let me move that because I think that's kind of confusing. All right, and if I move this up a little bit like that, so we can actually see the price structure. So on this here, we're watching this low. We want that to hold. We have a bigger low down here. And what we think is going to happen is we're going to get a move back up for another short-term high. So that looks pretty good still because the low has not been broken. We have a big impulsive wave over here, okay, and the pullback. And so now we've had the pullback, and now we're ready to go for one more move up. So that's kind of what we're thinking is going to happen. In terms of drawing some fibs, let me grab the Fibberini machine here. All right, so we do that, we do that. So again, my short-term target on this is 100 to 126, and it's at 75. So you still got some opportunity, and then put your stop under these lows, this low here or this low here. Probably this low here would make more sense. So that would be a stop probably somewhere under 61.82. All right, give it a little room. And we've got bullish owl here, nothing really negative except for the owls on these short terms because it was coming down recently. So it looks like it's bouncing up. So on this, Jim, I don't know if you're in it or not, or you're thinking about it. If you're thinking about it at this particular point, I think probably wait for the owls to turn green before going in. I don't think that's going to hurt you to do that. If you're in it, just stay in it, have your stop far enough back on that weekly chart that you'll be okay, all right? So I'm not going to recommend this one right now, but for those in it already, just stay with it. All right, COWZ. All right, so this one's still moving up on the weekly chart, but now we've got a yellow PTF. So things have changed a little bit in terms of the momentum, and we're seeing bearish divergence here between here and here on the owl. We no longer have a green PTF, it's yellow now. So now we got to be careful about a possible move down, okay? We still got a yellow, a green rather, on the 60-minute chart, so it's still moving up. I would probably, at this particular point, I would ratchet my stops up pretty close because you got stopped out already on this pyramid on the daily. So that was a nice trade up. I mean, you would have gotten in way down here at 50 and you would have been out, you know, right around there. So I would use this stop here right now on the 60-minute chart. So that would be a low of what? 56.39. So I probably, no, 56.42. Nope, 56.23. All right, 56.23. So put your stop at 56.22. Okay, that's where I would have that resting. All right, Stu. All right, KVUE, and you are long on this bad boy. All right, let's see what we got cooking on here. Well, good one to be long on. All right. So not much history though, Stuart. Okay. So if you look at the weekly chart, we're only going back to 2023. So we're going to really have to rely on the information from the other time frames. And we got a move off the bottom, but we have a gap. So you got to be careful of that gap filling. I don't think it's going to though. It looks like to me there's 3 times a gap usually forms, not always, but usually in a big move up. It's at the beginning, middle, and end. All right. Sometimes in the beginning, if it's this strong, it may not fill that gap. All right. And certainly on we no longer have a green PTF either on the daily chart. We do on the 60-minute chart. So, but it's not that far away. I mean, you know, we're almost there right now. Let's take a look at that. So we're at 21.92 is the PTF high, and we are at 21.91. So you're 1 cent away. So what I would do on this, I don't know how long you've been long, but if you've been long a long time, put my stop right under here. All right, because what's going to happen eventually with this thing is usually when the PTFs turn yellow here, we have bearish divergence. We're probably going to have a move down, and you can buy it again because we'll probably still be in the impulsive move to the upside. So I think probably after this thing breaks, you can pick it up again at a cheaper price. And I'm not so sure it's a good long-term hold because the weekly chart's not helping me here. So I think I would take profits on this, but that's just me. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. Okay. Fubo TV. Okay. Lowell's saying FUBO, which I wasn't sure what that was, is a TV sports news and entertainment. Thank you. Okay. And he likes Shark Tank too. And my daughter loves that show. She watches it all the time. All right. So pretty funny. All right. Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful. All right. So let's see what else we got cooking here. Anything else? I'm going to share one that I think I like here is Tesla. I know, right? All right. So Tesla long term. All right. It had a nice clear move up. Okay. It corrected all the way down here, 434. And now I think it's working its way up here with a green PTF. So the green PTF is putting the target for me at this high here, which is 414.50. So I'm looking for it to get there, and that's almost 100%, not quite, but almost. And we've had our nice pullback. See, off the bottom, big pullback. So that's done. You can put your stop there. All right. And if we clear this high, you can move your stop up to here and then keep it close as we, closer as we get closer to the target. So I'm liking this one. Okay. So I want to share that with you. Let me just make sure the short-term charts are okay. This one's okay. Ooh, this one's got a red one. So you can't take this one yet. You got to wait. All right. So maybe a little bit of a pullback off this run up. So I'm thinking maybe we come down a little bit more. Maybe you can get in around the 205 mark. Okay. So don't get this one yet, even though I like it. The PTF is red now. So we're kind of in a little bit more of a pullback that may not be over, but I don't think it's going to be serious. But we could go down to the 205 level before we see a move off that. All right. So TSLA, let's put that on the watch list. If you're in it, just hold it, okay? Because if you would have gotten in it when the PTF was not red. So just stay with it, okay? I kind of like that one. All right. What else? Let's take a look at silver, okay? All right. So silver, nice correction. My target, short-term target on silver is 30 to roughly 33, okay? So I'm bullish on silver, obviously. Okay, I was more bullish last week because the entry price would have been much better. Okay, the problem with now a little bit is if you get in now and your stop goes here, your risk to reward is really not 2 to 1. It's only like at best 1 to 1 to the PTF target zone. So I think it's I think I can't really recommend it yet, except I do think this is a short-term target, and then we'll get a move down and then more movement back up. So I think long-term silver could be going, but I think for a regular position trade now, we missed the best entry. Okay, missed the best entry on that. All right, for those in the Moore report, I think we got you in. Okay. All right, so what else we got cooking? Anything else? Well, we're coming pretty much too well. We're exceeded our half an hour. So, all right, I do like to keep these about a half an hour. Okay, so I guess that should be it for now. Gene is imparting some knowledge on everybody here, so I'll post that. All right, Lowell, the story of Damon John from Shark Tank is awesome. His mother and voice. I told you my family knows all about this stuff. All right, there it goes. Okay, no risk, no return. Got a $100,000 mortgage on her house. Okay, success story. All right, so that is it. Okay, for today. We'll be back next week. Again, I expect the markets to make new all-time highs before the election. It's probably on its way up now that the Fed's saying they're probably going to cut rates in September, which we kind of all thought, but now they're saying it. So that always helps, fuel the market. Again, after the election, we got to be careful, okay? Because we're sitting in a territory where we are at a long-term bull target zone. And I'm going to cover this when I do my market update, where I analyze the indexes and so forth. And I do that on the first Wednesday of each month. So we'll be doing that in September. So you're probably going to want to definitely attend that to see how, if we have any short-term targets on that. All right, so that is it. Thank you, everybody. Stuart, you have a great weekend too. And thank you for being here, and give us a like before you go, if you like us, that is. And hopefully you do. And we'll see you back here next week, next Friday. Okay, so thanks so much. Have a good one. And I'll put a little music on. I'll put the some of the short-term time frames up. We kind of a little volatility based on the interest rate. Check that out. So these are day trading time frames, guys, on the futures markets. So this is the NASDAQ. This is actually the MNQ, so it's the micro. But this is a 15-second time frame, 1 minute, and 5 minutes. So we still use 3 charts, but the time frames for day trading are different. Excuse me. So basically, a move down. We still got some green PTF, so maybe we'll get a little bit more volatility as it works its way out here. But I'll leave that on, and then we'll close the room in just a couple minutes. So thanks again for being here. All right, and have a good one. And we'll see you next week.